Buongiorno! We just finished this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind.
Now, normally we like to read the manga first, but this time around we're here for that golden experience.
So subscribe and tune in every week for our reactions. This week it was episode 22, The G in Guts.
Ooh, man, this was, interesting.
I think we just had to deal with a lot, right? A lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Let's start with the big thing. New opening.
Yes,
New opening.
finally!
Right.
Yes.
I think it's gonna take time for me to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
I love the image.
Yes.
The song is gonna have to grow on me.
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Nothing, I'm sorry, but nothing can beat Fighting Gold.
Yeah, Fighting Gold was just
It's just
so
it
different.
for
Well, it was a hurrah, and I feel like Fighting Gold definitely set us into the JoJo mood. This is, I mean, Araki is doing so much with this season, but more than anything, diving into all this artistry, all this, like, complexity. He's referencing a lot of things with all the stands, obviously, always, but in this season more than anything, and that is definitely being told by this opening. I mean, it's very, like, pop art almost, especially the end of it, showing the best of what's happened so far.
We saw Trisha Stan finally.
Yes, we
oh
saw
my
Trisha
god!
Stan,
I don't
the
know what
standard.
she does.
She oras. We know
It's
that.
pink.
Yes.
It's pink. Thank you.
It's pink and screams, which is honestly all I need.
yeah.
Pretty
close.
It does have a similar kind of like build to King Crimson.
Oh yeah, well,
Which was
that
cool,
makes
you know.
sense. Makes sense.
Like Father, like Daughter.
Yeah,
the
but
other
a lot of-
super interesting thing, like flashing forward there, like they put a lot of plants in, which we talked about. The other opening was pretty sparse on the like details. This one, obviously, we have everything we've seen so far, but also that arrow having a bug on it,
See, now
and then
I'm
it looks
curious.
like Jojo stabbing himself again.
Double stand?
Who wears bugs on their chest?
He does have ladybugs. I don't know. So calling it a bug, I mean, it could be anything.
It could be anything. We'll see in this new
There's
arc.
lots of things, but yeah, definitely. I felt a little betrayed initially because I'm like, is this actually an opening? Because we're getting half of the old stuff, but then we got some new stuff.
I mean,
and
I'm
like,
excited.
okay.
It took 22 episodes to finally get a new opening, so I'm happy.
I hope this is one that they add layers to as we move.
Yeah,
on.
yeah, we
Like,
talked
that's
about
what
that.
I'm really hoping.
We talked about that with the ending. The ending
Yeah.
does have potential for some layers to be added. But yeah, the episode itself had lots of layers,
Yeah.
lots of.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like they shipped animation out to like second unit for this episode.
God, it was like looks so cartoonish.
Again, I was with you, Wyatt. Where like some of the time I was all about it, and then other times I was like, "This is too far."
What's so interesting is they definitely. I mean, I think the part that really spoke volumes about how this crew likes to do their animation as opposed to what we're used to is that that scene where they're talking about the boat and Narancia's like double talk line to them. There was so much movement and camera shifting and redirecting and redoing. I mean, that would have been like a play. Like normally the JoJo things are like everyone's in their pose, they say their things, and you flip to all of them. There's not a lot of movement around, but that was everyone was just, I don't know. I mean, there was also a lot of manga panels in there too. I mean, you could tell.
It was like a weird mix, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so they had those great stand shots where you're like, oh, well, normally we're just going to linger on this for a while and then go back to that angle a lot.
yeah, like the two elite guardsmen had like beautiful poses
my
in the
God.
scenes.
I'm
excited.
But then we have like Narancia like bleh, and he like blows up like goddamn Luffy, like.
Yeah, he did look very Luffy-esque. And they play with the proportions a couple times, and I don't even dislike some of the choices that were made.
Like, I thought they were purposefully drawing Bruno's face different because of
that's the thing,
because
yeah.
of his like transition. Like they gave him like way like broader dark like spots on both sides of his nose, which he's had the whole time.
Yeah,
but like
but no.
they just made. But then like as we got halfway through the episode, I noticed it on all the characters.
Everybody.
Dude, they made
Mista. Oh my God.
proportion-wise, the faces are getting. I mean, honestly, it almost looks Western sometimes the way they were drawing Giorno in that episode. Like he looked way more adult, like eyes.
Well, they wiped the face and like background him a lot, but this was different.
Yeah, they always wiped one. It was definitely really weird. A little off-putting coming back into it. Well, I think that's just because we had expectation for the episode, really, because we just had a filler episode, and opening changes, and it was all jelly, right? We just stepped them
Trying to take it all in at once.
But definitely not in necessarily a bad way. That was fun. By the time we were in the bathroom, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is wild, man. This is wild.
The
This
whole
is-
bathroom scene was just so interesting. I mean, I understand what Narancia's trying to do, because, like, Jorno, like, this entire time, everyone's completely ignoring Narancia. Like, Mista's like, Narancia, what are you doing? Like, I'm gonna smack you if, like, you don't, like, get it together. But, like, you can literally see Jorno just, like, he's telling us
Trying
something.
to piece it together.
I don't get it.
Which is tough, because like the idea of what's going on is a really simple one. Like he's saying the opposite of what he wants to, but like it's such a hard thing to get across in a visually interesting way.
Yeah, well, having
and then
him-
like we're getting a translation on top of it.
Yeah.
It was a tough sell.
I think it might even just be part of how the task of it needing to be animated.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot to do
in the
with it.
manga, every time Narancia was probably reeling with the realization that he's lying, it wasn't as physically obvious. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was funny a couple of times. It's like, oh yeah, Narancia looks like he's tweaking out a little bit more than normal. But like, they would have noticed something immediately, especially
Right,
Bruno,
right.
if someone was like doing that.
Yeah,
But-
we're stretching an episode where Giorno was like, okay, Giorno, you stared at him for 20 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
you either think something's up or you don't. Like,
Okay, but like, and again, it's the dynamic too. It's like, all right, well, we have so many people looking at the same person and all not noticing, and then Jorno's gonna be the one to notice it. But like, again, it's just what do you do with a group?
Yeah.
But the reason I'm not worried though, because that was a little weird how that was handled. But again, it was probably just better as internal dialogue. Was the was when Narancia uppercutted the guy earlier in the
wine
suit.
Oh,
that was
my
beautiful.
God.
And then he just beat the shit out of that guy.
And then Misa's just looking, and he comes in, and I was literally thinking, like, I'm a Bakio. I'll just sit there, sip my tea. No, he just starts
And then
with
he goes
sponge
in
too.
after the drink, and what I'm happy about is like, yeah, we didn't need Fugo. Like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me? We can
Are you
still-
kidding me?
we
Coco
can
Jumbo
still-
literally just replaced
Coco
Fugo.
Jumbo literally had a seat at the table. All right, get the fuck out of here.
Yes, and I just love how they're like, don't worry, there's still great synergy. Like, they immediately like, yeah, no, we all completely betrayed the boss and the organization. But
Yeah, and that's what we're about now.
Yeah, but we're all in this together. It's all great. Oh man.
The enemy stand users, again, I loved their designs.
I love their poses
I want to
so
see more out of what
much.
their stands do. Obviously, this was
Yeah.
kind of the intro episode to them
Yeah.
as like a villain group.
Yeah.
But I hope we get more like that. I feel like the character design and like the characterization they gave them was really strong for them not setting. I mean, we got such a like diner scene and like, oh my god, the like cleanup crew's coming for us. That the elite guards are just kind of popping in and being really good so far.
Yeah.
Which I love.
I'm a little worried they got that part 3 vibe where they're just. I feels like they're gonna get dealt with immediately. I don't feel like there's a lot of interest. They seem kind of very strong, very strongly designed, very fun, very dynamic. But they do seem like they're gonna get nuked.
Like you're flipping tarot cards at this point.
Yeah, and you're like, and that's fun. And maybe we need a little fun right after that. You know, like maybe that'll work for the pacing. But the fact
was
that
interesting.
this is gonna be a 2-episode situation, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, the ending, kind of just go through that first. I love the pillar design. I think it just speaks a lot more to what we know about the series, which is just really rewarding versus the Greek statue. It's like, that looks good, but I don't have a lot of to put on it. You know, going through all the stands, you know, very much like, oh, that stand, oh, that stand. What does it mean, Fugo stand, like being at the bottom between the villains and the crew? Like, there's things to think about there.
Like that he's fallen. Also, there was that space in between. We were talking about maybe
So there might be
every
more
episode
added.
they're
We might
added.
like add stands, yeah.
That'd
We'll
be
see.
cool.
Yeah. But let us know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments below. Please drop a like if you like this video and subscribe for the next reaction.
眠れない闇